Don't want to go any further in my portion of the program without thanking the Hammerstein Ballroom for giving me a chance to sing for you tonight. And if you've heard me play before, you probably heard me say this, but if you've never heard me play before, my name is Todd Snider. I've been driving around 15 years. I make this shit up. I sing it for anybody that'll listen to it. Some of it is sad, some of it is funny, some of it is short, some goes on to what seems like forever, and sometimes I will ramble on for as many as 18 minutes in between the song. And lately, some of my friends have been telling me that my songs have been getting more and more opinionated, and I might have told you this too, but I want to tell it to you again because I mean it. While I might share some of my opinions with you over the course of the show tonight, I'm not going to share them with you because I necessarily think that I'm a smart person. I'm going to share my opinions with you because they rhyme. And I didn't come down here to change anybody's mind about anything. I come down here to ease my own mind about everything. And with that said, I want to thank all y'all for giving me a chance to sing for you tonight. This song's not very opinionated, it's just actually all facts. It's about a buddy of mine. It's a story song. It may take a second. It goes like this. Well, there's a Coke machine glowing through the parking lot. Call it a room with a view. This was the best night of pool that I ever shot. I made a lot of money too, looking for some company in the weekly scene. A scene that just had to be you. I hadn't seen you since New Orleans. I never did figure out where you'd run off to. I know I look bad last time you saw me, but lately I've been doing alright. I won a tournament last week in Oklahoma City, hustled half of this town tonight. I got some cocaine if you want some. It was the best that I could find. Here we could just sit here and talk all night. If that big old guy out in the car don't mind, like old times, we'll screw off the top on a bottle of wine. We're living out our own kind of American dream, just like old time. Your goal was always the same as mine. You didn't want to throw a fishing line in that old mainstream. No, I'm not expecting anybody but you. I don't know who this could be at the door, but I'm pretty sure that you've got a clue, and I'll bet you've been to this hotel before. Put the you know what in the bathroom, but don't flush it down just yet. I'll put your pager in my suitcase, I'll get the window, you light a cigarette. It'll be like old time, just like the old times, living out our own kind of American dream, just like old times. Your goal was always the same as mine. Didn't want to, I'm up for anything. This song makes a little more sense if I tell you about how I came up with it. It's the oldest song I got that I played. I made it up when I was just, I don't remember how old I was, but it was the summer of 1989. Some of you might remember that is the 20th anniversary of the summer of 1969. I was playing at a club called the Daily Planet every Thursday night back then, and if you remember right, every night on television they were doing a different 20th anniversary of the summer of 1969 type thing on television, and then Woodstock happened again. They had tie-dye t-shirts were back, but they were more expensive. Jam bands were more popular than they'd ever been. Jerry Garcia was more popular than they'd ever been. And I was playing at that club, the Daily Planet. I'd go down there every Thursday. I'd go down there a little early and have a few beers to take the edge off like I did tonight. And I went down right before the gig, and I'm sitting at they have one of them bars where they have a television behind the bar. I'm sitting at the bar, and on the television, well, first of all, I'm sitting there at the bar with this guy right next to me. He's got silver hair, but it's down to his belt buckle, you know. And he's got, his eyes are kind of lizard-eyed, like he blazed a J in his van. And then he came in and he had a beer, right? So I'm sitting there getting ready for my show, and I see on the television screen yet another one of these things, documentary about the Woodstock generation that was happening that summer. and they had this documentary called The Woodstock Generation, Where Have They Gone? And they put those letters in block letters across the screen. And I'm looking at the screen, and I'm looking over at this guy next to me. And I'm looking at the screen, and I'm looking over at this guy next to me. And they didn't put a phone number up or nothing. So I couldn't turn them in. But I started to feel defensive for my own generation. So I turned to this guy and I said, hey man, you ever get the impression that 20 years from now when we look back on the summer of '89, the only thing we're going to be able to reminisce about is how much we reminisced about the summer of 1969? And he said, well, there's a reason for that, kid. And I said, well, what is it? He said, your generation hasn't done shit. I said, well, hey, man. He said, name something. And we stood there and we stared at each other for a while. And then I just went back to my house. I don't even know if I'm going to remember all the words to this, but anybody could get up here and do shit they knew. This is called My Generation, Part 2, Verse 3, Chapter 4, Jackson 5, Nigga 6. My old man says the Woodstock generation found a way to make this nation open up its eyes and take a look around. And he says that my generation isn't good for nothing, but I could think of something, so I thought I'd jot it down. Hey, here's the hair gel, hanging out at the health spa, using condom since I'm watching LA Law. Here's the drum machine, stonewashed jeans, credit cards and fax machines, big bow-headed chicks and frat guys. Wear $40 tie-dye t-shirts, sing if you know, say big bow. Living off your dad as long as you can, blending in with the crowd. Oh, my generation, my generation, my generation should be proud. We were raised up in the hallowed halls of 500,000 shopping malls, and there's not any price that we're too proud to let our parents pay. We'll buy anything from Diet Sprite to 1,000 points of light. Listen, I admit that we're not that bright, but I'm proud anyway. Here's the hair gel, hanging out at the health spa, using condom since watching Arsenio Hall. Here's the drum machine, stonewashed jeans, credit cards and fax machine, big bow-headed chicks, frat guys. Wear $40 tie-dye t-shirts, all together say big bow. And here's to living off your dad as long as you can, blending in with the crowd.